It's June 10, 2022, and it's a summer weather today. I'm recording in the morning an episode, but I be interrupted because of my neighbor's children knock on my door because I am not sure, though they are Muslim, and I know this with a Muslim, they lie very much. So I am not sure if what they say is truth or not. So I always have to stay a little like between believe them and not believe. Only like I do accept it, and I don't think much deeper on what they are saying. So they always blame on the youngest child, and that he the whole time cast out throughout things in my garden, and I am thinking, why can't they stop him to do that, to make it hard for him to throw down things? It's the whole time, is it, that I have to pick up what they threw out. And the youngest boy is very screaming and crying. He's maybe 2 years old, and his other brother that is before him, it's only about 1 year between them. So I remember that he was not that kind of screaming baby like this little one. And today it was terrible that the father was screaming very much on that little one. And I have hard to take this kind of screaming, angry screaming. And it's many times I think that's why I am so cool, that I try to not go angry and screaming at people, because I grew up, I have told you that my parents was fighting, and my mother always win over my father because he was so drunk, so it was easy to make him fall on the floor. And so I think it's where I got it from, that I don't like high voices, screaming high voices. And then when I was a young woman, I was to my aunt, she had many restaurants, she owned restaurants, and sometimes I was to the restaurant because I was waiting for my mother for some reason, I don't know what it was, but I was sitting there behind in the kitchen in the restaurant, and I was so scared about the chef in the restaurant. He was screaming so much, and it was most of the time I come when we have lunch time, so it was very stressful in the restaurant. And he was screaming very loudly. And I was so frightened about this man. And so I had this with me from my childhood. So I tried to, the whole time, calm down situation when my boyfriends, those father to my children, that when they go angry and screaming, I hold back. I could do the same thing, but I tried to make them quit of screaming, because I couldn't take that. And now I have this Muslim man that is screaming very loudly on his children. So it's very hard. But what I was on, I sounds maybe a little sleepy now, because I am sleepy. But I was thinking, should I go and take a nap, or should I recording for you, to talk to you before I go fall to sleep? So I decided me for to do this before the nap, because today is on Facebook, is it a man that I told him that we were related to each other, and he is a pastor, and his mother, she's 96 years old, and today she didn't wake up. She died in her sleep. And she was very dement. She didn't know anything. She was not healthy in her brain when she died. And so in that way, I think that was the best for him. I can't say that my condolence about when people die when they are 96 years old. But I understand that it's sad, because they remember how she was before she get this dementia. So I have very hard, as I am from my mother, and my mother didn't like feelings. So I have learned from her that she always say that it's already done. Why should you cry? Don't cry, she say to me, because everything is already done. And I think it's nothing to be sad about when a person have lived so long time as 96 years of age. So for me it's hard to say. I didn't write him a condolence. I wrote him that was a nice way to pass over, going to the other side. And I wish everyone had that end of our earthly life, that we only fall to sleep and then we never wake up on earth anymore, and we are suddenly we wake up and we are in heaven. And I have hard to understand this, that people go sad when they say that they believe in God and they believe in heaven and these things. I prefer to be happy for those people that is going over to the other side, if they don't die in a very terrible situation, that they have lots of pain and laying and suffering for a long time. But if they only suddenly they find themselves be in heaven, that's not nothing to be sad about if they are old. But I see that very often, that people, even if they believe in God and heaven, like they say, that they complain and feel sorry for themselves that their loved ones is gone. And it is a selfish thinking that when be so old, and his mother didn't remember anything. It was hardly that he could make her eat food. And is it much better for her to come to heaven and go back and have her brain fixed, that her brain is okay now and all the pain in the body is gone? It's I see it like people do not really believe in heaven, that they only saying this because if we say they are over 75 years old, then is I should say, but I don't say that to people. But in my mind, I think congratulations, because now you are going to a better place. If they have been okay in their earthly life, it's only to congratulate them. And so in this case, we see the different. It's reveal how little they know heaven. And those people that have a mother that is almost 100 years old and feel pity for themselves, because the mother or the father, they are okay. They have moved away and they are very okay. So that is a selfish thing if they are very old. And that was my thinking about that his mother was 96 years old and she passed. She moved over to the other side in her sleep. That is something to wish for when life on earth is done and God call us home. So I almost fall to sleep here. But today it was about, I was talking in the morning about Mary and Joseph, the parents of Jesus, that I have come to know how they did in the Middle East. It's where they lived. They didn't live in America or live in Europe. They live in the Middle East. and for over 2,000 years ago too. And their way how to do the wedding is not the same as here. But I remember my mother's reaction when my sister was betrothal, and was thinking that she should marry the father of her daughter, and then he didn't wanted to marry her, and he break up the betrothal. And my mother say that very angry. It's against the law, and it was more in the law. She had right in that. In my sister was betrothal in 1963, and in that time was it more important that you hold what you promise, that you hold it. And so she was very angry. My mother was very upset about it. And now I understand why she was so angry. Because she was born 1910, so it was in another way of thinking about betrothal, and promise to marry a person. And in the Middle East, when Jesus' parents, in the Middle East, is it like the parents do the agreement with the other parents, and then the male part, his parents have to pay for that woman their son is going to marry. He need to give them money because of what they see as they don't get the money when the daughter growing old and she can work and do things in the family, so they can sell things and get money from what their daughter is doing in the family. And they counted out how much the male parents have to the groom, his parents, what they should pay for the daughter, the bride. And so that's what Joseph and Mary was into. They were not married, but they know each other. And in the Middle East, if they are betrothal, it's okay to have sex with each other, and because you have done the agreement, and the wedding is something to have feast that celebrate that they are married. That is in Middle East and in the Jewish tradition, and so it was okay, but I believe that Mary was younger than 16 years old. They say that those men that study, and they say 16, but I think they say she was 16 years old because they don't want the discussion about child bride. it's today also that they can marry a cousin that is 8 years old and marry. I come to know this because my daughter was to the professor because she can't be pregnant, and in the natural way she have to have help to be pregnant, and that was God was telling me that she should be allowed to carry a child in her womb, my daughter. So we were talking to this professor, and the professor said that 3 years before you see the bleeding from that young girl, she have already started to get out egg. It's only that it doesn't come with the blood. So they can be pregnant very early. I was 10 years old. It was on my birthday, so I remember it very well that I started bleeding. So in my case, I was already could have been pregnant when I was 7, but I didn't have any sex. But I could have done it because I had egg coming out. So in that way, they didn't understood that in Joseph and Mary time how it working. So how could she be pregnant with child if she have not the bleeding? That was the problem. So they have to come up to explain it like it was the Holy Spirit. She was pregnant with the Holy Spirit. So they didn't do any wrong thing, Joseph and Mary, by be together and Mary be pregnant. But it looked not good because they didn't understood that she could be pregnant without bleeding, and so it must have been a spirit way to be pregnant on. So it could impossible be Joseph that was the father. So you understand what was going on. Mary could have children, but it was no evidence that she was ready to be pregnant. That what I have learned now from a rabbi describe it, how this their rules, the laws in the Middle East is about. It's the marriage is already done when the parents agree to how much money the groom should pay for his bride. So that I wanted to say in the morning, but I say it now about this, and I feel me very lonely today. Special. I am always lonely, but special today because in the morning it felt like someone a spirit wanted to come and talk in this other way to that is for someone. It have happened that the spirit are coming for one person and not for all of you that is listen. And I will see if this coming through. I see it as both a man and a woman. I don't know what it means when it's two. It can be two spirits, but it can also be something sad that this person was girly. Maybe it was a man that was girly, because or the opposite, that it was a woman that was very much like a man. That is someone coming that doesn't have this distinct gender, that it's not distinct that is a girl, it's not distinct that is a boy, that is something between, because they were interested of the opposite genders things. So they were like homeboy, boy, girl, what is say in English, like those, that a girl that want to fix things like the boys do, and the boy wanted to be with a girl and do girly things. And it can happen that is two spirits here that wanted to take contact with you, that someone there, and it seems like it's you. I think you were twins. It's a spirit now very much talking to me, and you know that when you feel that this is right, that person that I'm talking about, that this person is for you, that means that the spirit of the other person and the spirit of you are connected. You come together in this now, and you feel like it doesn't need to be many things that is told, because the spirits doesn't need words. You have already the connection with each other now. I didn't need to say so much, and it's showing me a woman here, and she's it's long time ago, it's in the 50s. It look a little like Judy Garland and the wish from Oz, this kind of picture they give me, and it can be so far off when I'm talking like singing over the rainbow. I know that someone be shocked now, because it's about somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. And you know what it is. It's a spirit here that's sending out this to you. I don't know. It's this that I built up now about Jude Garland, and then it come to this over the rainbow. So it was not about the movie in some way, but it was about the song. That this woman, she loved that song, and she wanted to hear it often. And it seems like she was singing this song very, very often. And now she's saying that to you, my sister, she is saying that, no, I am over the rainbow. I am so happy to be here and could dance on the rainbow. And I have the peace that you are thinking like negative about my Passover, that you think that I was suffering very much when I go over to this side, but I didn't. My brain was gone already. Just in that moment, I was hit of the car, and I died instantly. It was gone. I didn't suffering anything. And if I did some move with the body, it was the movie still was alive, but my brain was not alive. The brain had gone instantly, and it can be for some hours that the body can move around, but I had no suffering. I was already over the rainbow when they picked me up and write the report that I have passed. So I know that you have. I have seen you laying awake in the night, and I have not could sleep because you are thinking about how I ended up. But that was a wrong, negative thinking about you, from you, that I was suffering. I didn't. I wake up and was here, over the rainbow. And I don't miss anything. Of course I miss you, but I am with you. I am with you the whole time, so I have not left. But for you, does it seem like I have left? But I have never left. It's when you see those butterflies, it have happened that butterflies are flying in the room, and you don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from me. I take a place of a butterfly sometimes and fly around and look at everything that is today on earth. That was not when I lived on earth, but it are coming added to you and your life, and I flying around to see it, and I almost she's so showing like a small coffin, those that a box to have jewelry in, and she said that like a butterfly, she was almost being inside that box. You close it, and there, it was very close that she be lost inside there in the box. She said, if you remember it, or maybe you remember that you felt like it was like a wind on your hands, and was me doing this. So she are coming through because she wanted you to know that for her was it nothing, but for you was it very hard. But for her it was so wonderful to come up to over the rainbow, as she say, and see all this beauty that is in heaven. And that's what she come through here. And she said that sometimes I feel your loneliness. Sometimes I wish I could sit side by side with you and hug you and comfort you. But you and I is in different worlds. So it's hard for me, and that you also don't believe in this recognition that we can come back and touch you and talk to you. And one day we sit together, you and me, like we did before in the past. We are going to sit side by side and jiggles and have fun things together in heaven. That was she saying. And now I see her hand is waving like goodbye. So she is gone now. So I thank you, Spirit, that have coming. She say Eliza, but I don't know if that's a name. But she said like it's like Elisha. What she means, I think it have with the Bible character to do, something that taken up to heaven, inside the cloud. I think it's what she is telling us when she left now. Something like that. You should study Elisha, because that's the same she is, or what she act like. So thank you, and God bless you. I hope you continue to listen at my podcast to learn from heaven.